Land use objective D, to preserve the residential nature and character of established hillside neighborhoods. Do you believe that your current site design and grading proposal does that?
Absolutely, and it does it in a number of different ways, and I actually like our architect to come up, Eric Justison from RRM Group as well, to address this, but I'll tell you a few of the ways it does it. First of all, it buffers our homes from both a linear feet perspective and an elevation perspective so that they really won't be seen from that last line of homes on Hillcrest.
I want to be sure you understand what I'm saying, because I'm not asking what are you doing to buffer.
Okay.
Because this says nothing about buffering, and what I know about that neighborhood, there essentially is no buffering.
That's right.
The
There
lots
isn't.
are very small, and they're built without pads and directly on the slope, using low slopes and retaining walls and basements and things like that to create yard space. So that's my question: to preserve the residential nature and character of the established hillside neighborhoods.
Well, I was addressing it in a different way. I think I understand where you're going. I think I understand where you're going with it now, and I'll tell you that I think that we're addressing that in a number of ways. I won't begin to address the padding issues or the lot issues. I will tell you that our plan in terms of architecture, in terms of differentiating the architecture along the streetscape, in terms of creating an eclectic mix of homes that will blend into the landscape, in terms of keeping the development below the built environment on both sides, we think that that all observes the objectives that you've mentioned. I understand where you're going with it, and you know, we can all read into this objective differently, obviously.
Well, I mean, I would just mostly appreciate honest answers to the question.
That is my honest answer.
There's also, it looks like the largest slope of the property is on the slope where the V is on the hill. Mm-hmm. And that's a ridge line by definition. It's a ridge line. It is 140 feet tall vertically, that cut with a slope interruption to catch debris and water. Do you think that that conforms with that objective that I just read to you?
Well, I'm going to call up our project engineer to address that, Craig Whitaker, but I will just, as a preamble, to try to answer your question, tell you that our plan, and it always has been a conceptual plan at this pre-screen stage, we expect to continue to make improvements with comments like that as we move through the process. There's by no means is this a final plan.
Well, I think in general that's what I'm getting at, is where do you feel you are going from here? Do you feel you pretty much have a good plan that needs tweaks, or do you think the plan needs major work?
I think it's the former. But tweaks and substantive material tweaks we're very open to. As I said, we've been through 23 land plans. There are so many different masters on this piece of property, given the differential in terrain all across it and all of the different rules and regulations we are trying to accomplish, that we've really taken a lot into account over that time. And so I think it's appropriate and essential, obviously, for you to look at every single rule and objective and ask us about them. And sure, we'll try to answer every one. But I can tell you very straightforwardly, there is no way that any project could achieve every single rule and objective in this HMP or in the code. And we're doing, in my opinion, of course, a very good job of accomplishing as much as possible while achieving a project that's feasible. But I'll call up Craig Whitaker to try to address your question more directly about that, the slope and the V.
Do you need more of an answer for that?
I don't need it. I have the technical information and I understand it, if that's what you're trying to explain, unless some of the other commissioners would like to hear it.
I don't know if Craig, would you agree with it? I just want to make sure that you both are talking from the same.
I think we're good.
Okay.